Good morning, everybody. This is Christy. I am the Intimate Warrior. I thank you so much for stopping by. And as always, I send you love. In this video, I am going to incorporate my process, a little bit of my process, and speak a little bit more about the 12 salts. And I hope it helps you out on your journey. I'm going to do it. I'm going to attempt here to be as real as I possibly can. And of course, that being said, if I am being really real and I get really deep here, you know, the emotions might come forth here, or the feelings may come up here. I definitely am at a receiving part of my journey here, of receiving, and of course becoming more of who I was not, or I am still shedding layers of who I was not and allowing who I truly am to come forth. I am remembering. Which means in remembering, there's going to be a sense of loss. In all receiving, we learn to let go, or we have to let go. And then by letting go, we have to feel. So I am feeling today. I am definitely feeling loved. I have definitely been feeling loved for a very, very long time. But then there's just moments that you feel extremely loved because you begin to feel whole. And that makes all the difference. And so I made the video. And I like to always go back to my videos and allow you guys to go back. So 3 days ago, about the salt of the earth and what that really means. And so I kind of had to go back to my journals this morning, my phone journaling this morning, and go back to when God wanted me to become more aware of what was happening. Now, I have always, early on in my process, I was guided to, and I mean early on, within months, I believe, of me knowing I was waking up, but there was a drastic change taking place. I was guided to the process of the sacred secretion. And gosh, what is her name? I should remember her name. I believe her YouTube channel is Seek Vision. I ended up watching her videos a couple of times as I was being guided there. I found them fascinating, and I knew that there was a resonance here that I didn't understand, but there was something happening internally that was clicking with me. So as I was rewatching her videos, trying to really get this grasp on what it meant, I realized that I just couldn't comprehend it yet. My brain and body just wasn't understanding it. So I stopped watching her videos, and just like the things that I was continuously reading early on in my process, I was trying to absorb so much. A lot. I was taking in a lot. And of course, I loved that part of it. And I got to a point that I just had to stop. There's no point in taking in information if it's not being used. Which means, in order for information to make sense, you have to live it. It's just like reading the Bible. You can read the Bible all day long. But what point is that Bible if you aren't living the Bible? I just began to listen to my own inner guidance. Or my inner guidance was God. I began to listen and focus more on God and what God was explaining to me. I knew that in doing so, when I needed to go somewhere, look something up, whatever it was, I was going to be handed that information. I was really coming in tune with trusting in that internal guidance. God wanted me to really increase on my faith. That right there is your foundation. Without true faith in every single thing in your life, you will have nothing. Faith without works is dead. Action. God trained me to understand that nothing in this reality could ever harm me. My faith was developed to the point that I understood no harm could ever harm me or cause anything bad unless I allowed it to. From the food that I ate, to the things that I observed, to the things that I did or didn't do, nothing could harm me. To this COVID, to illness, nothing could harm me. Everything must enter into the mind before it can seed within the heart, and therefore your actions are going to reflect that thought. I began to watch myself. What was I thinking about? How was I feeling? What were the words that I was expressing? And what were my actions? This is about me observing my own life. This is not about what other people observed me doing or what they thought I was not doing. In my own mind, I'm doing my best. From other people, their perspective, I could be falling to pieces. In my own mind and in my own heart, I'm coming together. Of course, it means that I'm letting go of certain things of my life, which means, yes, I might be falling to pieces a little bit. I ended up becoming more mindful, like I said, of what I was doing, of everything, and aware of how it was making me feel. And when the moment that God ended up telling me to read a verse in the Bible, and I have mentioned this in several of my videos, that it's not the meat you eat, or the food that you drink, or the drink that you drink, that shall defile you. It's what comes out of the mouth. And I took this knowing that it means that this physical substance of food, this physical substance of liquid, whether it be alcohol or water, coffee, whatever it is, is not going to harm me if I have true faith. But if I don't have true faith, it's going to harm me, and I'm going to speak about that harm. Anything that enters in the mind is eventually going to be spoken about, whether good or bad. I watched my words. I watched them. Anytime I spoke negatively, I caught myself and I changed my phrasing. As I caught myself, as I was able to catch myself speaking, I was able to retrain my mind to believing something else, or at least to flip from negative to positive, which, of course, in time, changes the emotion that's attached to the heart. I did my best every single day to be my best. Towards myself, towards others. I caught myself failing very often. Lots of pain, lots of trauma that I had to push through in order to love people. It was hard. Some days were really good. A lot of days were really bad. And I would therefore take it back out on other people. And then bad situations could come out of it. More arguments, more tension, more pain, more drama. I realized it though, every single time. And I didn't like it. I tried to correct it internally first. By becoming more aware of every situation in your life, especially that you are involved in, what you give and how you react is all about you. When you see it, you become the observer and you're more able to step back, reassess, and try something differently next time. This is the process of always learning to be the observer, to catch yourself thinking, to catch yourself feeling something, and therefore, let's see what my actions are going to be as a result. I can look back now and see how well I was doing. But as I was in it, I thought I was failing. Because it's so hard to do what's right all the time. It's so hard to love selflessly all the time. It's so hard to not retain emotions that involves other outside situations and people. It's hard. But as I look back now, I did it. And I did it with great power, great strength, great determination. How do I know that? Because I'm here where I'm at now. I walked the walk every day. From the moment that I woke up to the time that I shut my eyes. I made sure to do it. Others might have seen that I was still negative, still unloving, but I knew what I was doing inside. I knew and I can feel the changes on the inside. in July of 2020, God started asking me to become aware of a sacred secretion. That was about 2 years, I believe. Almost 2 years. I really can't describe or go back without really going back to my notes. From the moment that I guess I realized what was taking place, to the time of, let's get real here. Early on in the process, we're doing our best to heal the lower 3 chakras. That's where most of our trauma is stored. Our lower 3 chakras are in relationship to, well, of course, our earthly existence here. Which is why trauma is stored. If we can't rise above the 3rd chakra, we can't even begin the sacred secretion, because our emotions are killing off that seed every single month, because we are angry, we are bitter, we're upset, we're just negative, we're too dense. By the time you are ready, you've cleared your lower 3 chakras. Of course, the heart's already open to begin with, for the process of clearing the lower 3 chakras to even begin. An open heart is required to change. I was already doing this process. We are all always doing this process. But until we clear the path, steps on preservation or transmutation are not taking place. But because I had so much faith, I cleared the path, I was ready to set more intention. I haven't changed anything from the beginning to now. I've set more intentions. I got more real. So from July into my birthday, coming up this April, is going to be 9 months that God spoke to me. 9 months. We are within the womb 9 months. Estimated there. If you're born premature, like my son was born at 7 months. Then you have more salts to acquire. If you were born at 9 months, you have 3 additional salts to acquire. A total of 12 months. 1 year. I will be at my 1 year mark. Next month. I've acquired the Aries cell salt, and I will need the beginning portion of my force. Salt. The time frame of every astrological sign from month to month has been altered. It has been changed. That's why in my sacred secretion class, when I began it, I asked everyone to count back 3 days, which keeps you covered in knowing when the moon in your sign really was. Like I said, I don't change anything. I'm still doing the same thing today as I was when God told me this is the time. Except now, I have more intention. I know every single month when the moon is in my sign. I am aware of it. It's taking place. I still live my life as loving as I possibly can. I began to eat my food with intention of knowing that it was truly filling me with substance. I began drinking my water knowing that it was giving me a type of life. I watch TV when I watch TV with great intention of giving me happiness and comfort. I listen to music with the intention of knowing that it's calming my mind and my heart. I walk outside, and with every step, I am aware of that step and that beauty and that connection. I try to make everything something sacred, something beautiful. Life happens where we may get to the point of living within that moment, and that is beautiful, and that is also required. But then I become more aware of a greater love that is within this moment of growth, of embodiment, and I still try, whenever possible, to see the spiritual aspect of all life. In my video the other day, I mentioned that you can buy mineral salts to assist you on your growth. And especially early on in my process, I felt I was very sluggish. I have always taken some form of vitamin here and there, especially early on, or beginning about 10 years ago, when I was diagnosed with a gene mutation that I have this, or I was told that I had a mutation of the gene where my body automatically killed off my embryo. So I began taking supplements for that. Now what I am trying to say is that you can take anything you want, you can do anything you want, you can eat anything you want, drink anything you want in this reality. You can obtain anything you want within this reality. But everything in this reality can go in a second. It can be taken from you. It can be robbed from you. That's what materialism in the Bible is trying to tell us. That everything in this reality is an illusion, no matter what it is. And it is temporary. But what is given to you by the Spirit is everlasting. This journey that you are on, this journey that you are deciding to take, this journey in love and embodiment of it, is going to provide you with everlasting life. The 12 salts that you can go up to a store and buy, which may or may not do anything for you. Because if you are still within a negative mindset, a negative heart, not cleaning out your body, not embodying love completely, what are those salts going to do for you? You can go to a therapist all day long and talk to the therapist about your problems. And the therapist can give you advice, or the therapist can go ahead and prescribe you some medication. But if you're not dealing with the issue at hand, depression is going to get worse. Your life is going to fall apart. You're going to become dependent on that medication. More anger, more resentment, because it's just not working. God heals. God provides. You have every single thing within you to do this on your own. I'm not saying you can't go buy anything. I'm telling you that you are powerful. If you want to go out and buy these salts or buy vitamins, I do take vitamins every single day. Well, when I remember to. But I know those supplements are not doing what I am doing internally, what God is providing me with. It's an added bonus. Just like the friendships and the loves that we have within our life, they are our bonus. They are not needed. They are the bonus. And I want to kind of explain the importance of the soul salt that is given by God. You know, like I said in the beginning of this video, I began to watch my phrasing. I omitted certain phrases, words out of my vocabulary in the beginning until I began to understand more about my proper expression. Now I can still use words like but for one, hope for two, and but no longer has a devalue or a limitation within me. Hope now provides for me, because now I am living in a different expression. I rarely use the word can't, and if I do, I catch myself and try to scratch it out of my vocabulary. I correct it. I mostly internally apologize for even using that phrase, that word. I began to look up words, though, where they actually came from, because things have been changed and altered throughout our existence. The word sin has been used a lot, and everything in our life can be used either good or bad, sinful or sinless. Sin is lacking, to fall short of judgment and comprehension. There are many interpretations of this word. I found one interpretation. Its origin is avon, and of course, I don't know how to pronounce this. This word means, it carries a connotation of perversion or depravity. It most commonly translates as iniquity. If you read Isaiah 59:2, but your iniquities have separated you from your God. Your sins have hidden his face from you, so that he will not hear. So avon or avon is spelled A-V-O-N, just like that makeup from the old days, Avon. When you don't have all of the 12 cell salts within your brain, you don't think properly. When the brain doesn't think properly, the rest of your life follows that thought process, that lacking. When the brain is finally thinking properly, it is because you have obtained all 12 cell salts. You have gotten back to that phi ratio of perfection. Your brain has required every single salt from every single zodiacal sign, the proper amount that is needed for full expression. Unity. 12 disciples. And the law is going to be written within your mind and your heart. And you will witness God internally. If your birthday falls in the beginning of the month, then you won't need so much of that zodiacal sign. Or I could have this incorrect. Let me see. No. If your birthday falls at the beginning of the month, it is the opposite. You're going to need the entire month of April, which means because you came out of your mother's womb prior to the completion of that month. So, for example, if you were born March the 1st, or the first week, even up to the second week, you are going to require a percentage, if not all of the full months, salt. If you are born towards the end of March, you have pretty much all of that cell salt within you already. You are probably going to have to get to the following month. I have Aries. I have Taurus that I am in need of a portion of April. And it actually is still going to be Aries season by the time that I am in my completion of the cell salts, where everything is going to begin to flow properly. We need the full functioning of the brain in order for the flow of life to move like rivers of flowing waters through us. I ended up receiving a date yesterday and I'm pretty sure it's incorporated with a lot of things here. So I wanted to incorporate it into this video, but I like to make sure that I have more information and correct information prior to providing it to you guys. So I'm going to do my part and be still, listen, be open to information, and I hope to give it to you as soon as I can. Tomorrow is, I think it is, the 1st of April. I have been asking this on Patreon. When your moon is in your sign, I would like to know, if you guys don't mind sharing it with me, when will your moon be in your sign for the month of April? Just comment it below. And let's try to do this together. This is Christy. Much love, health, and healing your way. I am bringing purpose to your life. Take care.